In a filthy, neon-soaked bazaar, the captive looked like property, chains and all, until Ryan Hale said, "20,000, now," and paid a steep cost that stunned the crowd. The air reeked of oil and dust. The auctioneer yanked the woman's chain. She cried out. No one cared. Laughter scratched at the edges as buyers called out numbers like they were pricing meat. Then Ryan's voice cut through the noise, calm and sharp, breaking the rule everyone lived by. Don't interfere. Heads turned. A scarred merc glared, spat, and raised the bid. Ryan didn't blink. He lifted his credit chip, pushed the number higher, and the bazaar went quiet, like the place forgot how to breathe. Sold, the krill thing hissed, all teeth and greed. Half his savings vanished in one blink. Ryan moved fast, unhooked the metal cuffs, and got her out. Boots pounded behind them. Eyes followed. But the ship's ramp closed, and the bazaar's roar died in the dark hum of engines. He had broken the game, paid the price, and pulled her from hell. Then the twist hit like cold iron. The rescue was not enough. In her culture, if he paid for her life, he had to complete the bond, or she would be nothing. Cast out, nameless, worse than dead. If this act of rescue wasn't finished their way, she lost her identity, her place, her future. Ryan hated the word ownership, but choice mattered more, and choice had rules he didn't make. If he refused, he saved her body only to break her spirit. If he agreed, he carried her safety and dignity, not as a master, but as a partner who stood between her and a world that wanted her back in chains. Outside threats grew fast. The mercenaries who watched the auction wanted credits, payback, and company property returned. Corporate signals probed the lanes, hunting the ship. And beyond guns and trackers, a larger shadow waited. Her people's law, elders and diplomats who could deny their bond, strip it of honor, and pull her away on a technicality. Freedom versus ownership. Choice versus tradition. Love against the rules of two worlds. If he didn't complete the bond by their custom, she would be exiled. If he did, they would both face a storm, mercs, corporations, and a court of culture ready to judge whether what they shared was real or just a mistake shouted over an auction block. Inside the ship, the hum of the engines filled the silence between them. The woman sat weak and trembling, her emerald skin pale under the cabin lights. Ryan knelt with the medical kit, trying to keep his voice steady. "You're safe now. I'll drop you anywhere you want." But her eyes, glowing amber through exhaustion, met his. "No," she whispered, "you do not understand. You paid for my life. You must complete the claim." He frowned, not getting it. "What claim?" Her voice shook. "Bond with me or I will be outcast. Worse than dead." His heart sank. He hadn't bought her for this. He just couldn't walk away from cruelty. But now freedom wasn't simple. If he refused, he destroyed her. If he accepted, he became bound to her by law older than his world. After a long silence, he said softly, "All right, I accept the bond, but you're not property. We're partners, equal." She blinked, stunned, then slowly nodded. "Deal." The word felt heavy and sacred in the cold air. Days passed, and the ship turned from a quiet escape pod into a strange new home. Ryan tried to keep distance, sleeping in the cargo bay, but the nights were cold and she wouldn't allow it. "Bonded pairs share everything," she insisted, her crimson hair brushing her shoulders. "Well, humans need space," he muttered. "Is it because you find me unattractive?" She teased, and his face went red. The ice between them cracked into laughter. Later in the galley, she stared at the food synthesizer like it had insulted her. "This machine makes mush," she declared. Ryan grinned. "It's edible." "Food is not fuel," she said, grabbing what little ingredients he had. She moved like art, humming softly, turning bland powder into a meal that smelled like home. "When you feed someone," she told him, "you give them part of yourself." The taste made him groan with surprise, and she laughed. "See? Some things are better when you stop overthinking." Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Trust, warmth, the first spark of love born out of survival. On a distant station, among stalls of metal and light, she paused at a shop window filled with the colors of her people, deep greens and burning crimson cloths. The shopkeeper saw her, recognized her kind, and frowned at her bare wrist. "You are unclaimed?" Ryan stepped forward. "She's bonded. To me." The old man nodded slowly. "Then mark her properly. It is tradition." Inside, silver bonding bands gleamed under the lights. One carried a flame, the other a star. "You don't have to," she whispered. "I want to," Ryan said. "So everyone knows we chose each other." They left the shop hand in hand, wearing the symbols of two souls who refused to live by anyone else's rules. That night, under soft light, they shared the space that once divided them, not as owner and captive, but as equals, who had rewritten the meaning of the word bond. Peace never lasts long in space. The alarm screamed first, then came the shaking hull. Ryan sprinted to the cockpit. Two ships on their tail, fast and armed. The same mercenaries from the auction. "They found us," Ara said, voice calm but trembling. "They want me back." The comm hissed. "Cargo ship starbound runner, power down your engines." "You have stolen property." Ryan's jaw clenched. "Over my dead body." The first blast hit their shield, throwing sparks across the panels. "They're not trying to kill us," Ara muttered, hands flying over controls. "They want me alive." "Not happening," Ryan said. He pulled the ship into an asteroid field, weaving between rocks, pushing every limit. But a tractor beam caught them, dragging them toward the mercenary ship. Ryan's knuckles turned white. "Hold on." She looked at him, calm, resigned. "When they board, tell them I went willingly." "Absolutely not." He grabbed her hand. "We don't give up. That's not who we are." When the mercenaries stormed the bay, their leader, scarred and sneering, laughed. "Hand her over, hero." "You're outgunned." Ryan raised a detonator. "Try me. I've got explosives right behind this door. One button and we all become dust. How much is she worth to you?" The leader hesitated, then drew his weapon. Everything exploded into chaos. Foam burst from the walls. Ryan tackled him, pain searing his side as a shot hit. The world blurred until he heard her voice, cold and fierce. "Nobody touches my husband." A single shot, and the mercenary fell. The others ran, alarms blaring. Ara knelt beside Ryan, her palms glowing green. Warmth spread through him as her power mended his wound. "You saved me," he whispered. "We're bonded," she said, tears streaking her face. "Your pain is mine." He smiled weakly. "We're stuck with each other, remember?" She laughed through her tears. "Till the stars burn out." Days later, a ship unlike any they'd seen appeared, shining, alive, a vessel of her people. Diplomats stepped out, their robes flowing like light. The elder's voice was calm but heavy. "Ilara, daughter of the Green Forest. Your people need you. Return and we will restore your honor. We will give you a proper bond." Ara's hand tightened around Ryan's. "I already have one," she said. The elder's eyes flicked to him cold. "A human? Impossible. That bond is not recognized. We can dissolve it." Ara's voice broke but didn't waver. "You call that freedom? You offer me a cage with prettier bars?" She faced them fully. "He saw me when no one else did. He gave me choice." He made me laugh again. "That's real." Ryan stepped forward, voice low but steady. "If she wants to go home, I'll let her. Because love isn't about keeping someone. It's about letting them choose." Ara's breath caught. Then she turned to the elder. "You asked what I choose. I choose him. I choose love that isn't arranged or bought. I choose the man who risked everything for a stranger." Silence fell, heavy and endless, until the elder sighed. "You have your mother's fire. Very well." The bond stands. Relief washed through them. As the alien ship vanished into the stars, artificial rain began to fall. Ara laughed, tilting her face up. "Married to a human, hunted by half the galaxy, and now blessed by my people. How's your day?" Ryan grinned. "Perfect." She kissed him in the rain. Years later, they would tell the story. The human who bought a life and found a soul, and the alien woman who taught him that love and freedom mean the same thing. They would show their children the matching bands, one marked with a flame, the other with a star, and whisper that in a galaxy full of darkness, even one act of compassion can light up the stars. Time drifted on, and the legend of the starbound runner grew. Travelers whispered about the human pilot and the emerald-skinned woman who defied the laws of two worlds. Some said they saw their ship gliding through the farthest trade lanes, delivering medicine to forgotten colonies, helping those left behind. Others spoke of a family, a mix of human and Solari blood, 3 children laughing in zero gravity, proof that love could rewrite even the oldest rules. Ryan and Ara never cared much about being legends. For them, every sunrise was enough. Every shared cup of coffee, every joke in the middle of engine repairs, every night falling asleep to the hum of hyperspace. Those were the miracles that mattered. The galaxy was still cruel in places, but wherever they went, people remembered them. Not for the fights or the fire, but for what they proved. That compassion is rebellion, and that real freedom begins when someone chooses love, not out of duty, but desire. Ara once told a young Solari girl who feared her future, "Tradition can be a cage, or it can be wings. It depends who holds the key." Ryan just smiled beside her, knowing that the key was always choice at its heart. Their story wasn't about war, law, or even the stars. It was about what happens when someone sees another person's pain and refuses to look away. It was about a simple act of defiance that grew into something vast, a bond not born from ownership, but from understanding. If Ryan had walked away that day in the bazaar, Ara would have died chained and forgotten. Instead, one choice rewrote 2 lives, 2 species, and one truth that every world needs to remember. Love is not something you buy, it's something you earn. And as the narrator's voice fades, the stars stretch across the screen, glowing softly like the pulse of a shared heartbeat.